Here we see a WIGE vehicle record sheet. Notice that it looks much like a ground combat vehicle record sheet, such as a tank. This is because the WIGE uses the same tables as a ground combat vehicle, such as the ground combat vehicle hit location table, the motive system damage table, and the ground combat vehicle critical hits table. In this way, WIGEs act much like tanks. However, unlike tanks, WIGEs have a very unique system of movement, which we will get into now. A WIGE can either move when it is grounded or after it has taken off. When grounded, a WIGE can only move 1 MP to move 1 hex, or use the minimum movement rule. The WIGE is treated as hovering. However, if the WIGE would like to move more, the WIGE must first expend 5 MP to take off, and rise 1 elevation above its underlying terrain. The WIGE may then expend MP 1 per hex to move across the board horizontally. The WIGE must move at least 5 hexes in order to stay airborne, or else the WIGE lands. If the WIGE lands in prohibited terrain, the WIGE crashes. Only clear and paved terrain are available for a WIGE to safely land. As of the current Total Warfare printing on page 55, all WIGEs treat water hexes as clear terrain, and so can land on water hexes. Also note that WIGEs cannot move backwards. That's a no-no. Now let's talk about level changes. Assuming the WIGE is taken off and is at elevation 1, the WIGE can expend 1 MP to traverse 1 level. That's 1 MP for the new hex, and that's it. Just moving along. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 MP for hex. The WIGE doesn't pay any additional cost for moving up 1 level. And the really cool thing is, the WIGE can also move down any number of hexes for just 1 MP. That was 1 MP right there. And the WIGE kind of lands at 1 elevation. Lands. It didn't really land because it didn't touch the ground. And yeah, the WIGE can fall down any number of levels. There's no prohibited terrain level for a WIGE when it comes to moving down hexes. Of course, the WIGE cannot move from level 0 to level 2. That's just too much. The WIGE can't do it. Another cool thing about WIGEs is that if they want, while they're moving, the WIGE can spend extra MP to stay airborne. So a WIGE doesn't have to fall down. The WIGE could pay 1 MP for the new hex, and then an additional 2 MP to stay at this level for 3 MP, and then pay 3 more MP and stay at this level. And it can keep doing that until it runs out of MP, and then it descends. This is useful in situations such as this. Say the WIGE wants to get here. The WIGE can just expend 3 MP, expend 3 more MP, and end up there. The WIGE can also do this in this situation. WIGE can still make it there. And the WIGE can do this in this situation. The WIGE can stay at the same level, and then automatically rise up. So that would be 3, 6, 7 MP spent. However, if we were in this situation, the WIGE wouldn't be able... Yeah, that'd be too much. The WIGE wouldn't be able to get up there, because that'd be a 2-level change. So, just a little review. This is one option for the WIGE to move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 10, 11. that's one way a widge could expend MP to move. Also note that widges cannot fire into their own hex, so assuming that a widge traversed at least 5 hexes and ended its movement here, one level above some infantry, this widge could not fire at the infantry below it. In the next turn, they would move off, I suppose. Also, because of this widge flying at elevation 1, the widge ignores rough and rubble terrain, doesn't pay any extra MP cost for it. And like VTOLs, widges get an additional +1 target movement modifier for being a flying thing. I now illustrate the example from page 56 of Total Warfare. Supposing our widge starts its movement phase, taken off, the widge expends 1 MP to move into this hex. And then the widge wishes to maintain its elevation into this hex, and so spends 3 MP. That's a total of 4 MP. So 1, 4, 7, 8, 9, 12, 15, 16. The widge expended 16 MP to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hexes. Since 8 is at least 5, the widge gets to stay taken off and does not land. Note, we had to spend the additional 2 MP over this hex, for a total of 3 MP to move over this hex, to maintain elevation, because if we didn't, then the VTOL would crash onto the trees. Or the woods hex, I should say.